Hi, welcome to the Coffee Hour, a show that involves you in verbal interactions. We have the 2020 feature, Sports with Brian Camp, and Entertainment News with DJ Pete. So settle in with coffee in hand, and enjoy the Coffee Hour. Now here's your host, Frank Allan.
And TGIF, thank God it's Friday. We're all here together in one big family, as usual. Hi, everybody. Welcome once again to another Friday. We're coming to you live from New York City. That's where we originate. The name of the show is called The Coffee Hour. And we're going to be here for the next hour, serving coffee, donuts, or whatever your pleasure, and having a good casual conversation and just having a good time as we do each week. As you know, we come here every Friday. And for the benefit of the people who are just joining us for the very first time, we get together each week, we enjoy a conversation, and you too can be in on the conversation. All you have to do is take your keyboard, use it, type it from your keyboard on your computer, or your keyboard on your telephone, or any other device that you may have that will contain the opportunity, or I guess the ability to catch us each week. And of course, you can do that and follow us each week as we always present the show to you. And of course, if you're watching us for the very first time, you ought to know we're coming from 3 different places, right? We're coming live on Facebook, we're on YouTube, and also live on Instagram. So those of you who are joining us, pick your spot wherever you may have, or wherever you may be, and just relax and watch the show. You could be part of the show, as I said, and all you have to do is just chime in. Now, if you're going to chime in conversation, of course, we would appreciate if you did, because we would like to greet you personally when we see you there. We would like to say hello to you personally, live, in real time. If not, you can sit back, relax, because you may be at the job right now, taking that coffee break. That coffee break lasts for about 15 minutes. Take that 15 minutes, stay at your desk, and enjoy the show at the same time. So when your 15 minutes is over, you could still watch the show and enjoy your coffee and do a little multitasking, work at the same time. We're all here for you each week. And as we go through the show, we have special features, of course, you know, in conjunction with intermingle with you. We have our regular features. First of all, we have sports coming up. It's the 2020 feature, and it's usually 20 past the hour. Brian Camp will come in and join us and give us the latest developments on today's world of sports on Sports Update. However, he's going to be here a little bit earlier today. He's going to be here in just a couple of seconds from now. Stand by for that. You'll get a chance to see him. You'll meet and greet him. If you have any questions about sports, anything to relating to sports, he has the answers, and he can tell. And you can do that all live. We hook up with him from New York to Charlotte, North Carolina. And so we're looking forward to seeing him then. Later on in the program as well, too, we are going to have those movies, our picks of the week. Our picks of the week coming up. We have those movies for you, and it's always my pick of the week from Turner Classic Movies. Just in case you want to catch up on some movies that you haven't seen in a while, this may be the weekend to do it. And you may be doing other things too, but if you want to just add that into your little schedule right there for watching movies that you haven't seen in a long time. So I am going to add the movies to your bucket list of what to watch this evening. So many things are happening, and happy Cinco de Mayo Day. Yes, indeed. I don't have a sombrero. I don't have any maracas or anything like that to celebrate. You really don't need, you don't really need that, you know. But I would imagine that a lot of people are going to be celebrating. I imagine like after 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock this afternoon, after your work hour is over, I could imagine happy hour is going to be even more happy. Cinco de Mayo, that's a yearly celebration that happens every year at this time, May 5th, every May 5th at this time, in commemoration of the anniversary of Mexico's victory over the Second French Empire at the Battle of Puebla back in 1862. And that's how Cinco de Mayo came along, and we all celebrated together. Let's all join hands. I can imagine all of that Corona just flying all over. And when I say Corona, I'm talking about I'm talking about the Corona, you know, the liquid kind. That's what I'm talking about. That's the only Corona I would like to have in my body. That's it. That's it. But anyway, nevertheless, people are celebrating. Restaurants are celebrating. They have specialties and Mexican food and beverages and things like that. And everybody's going to be participating. And of course, we're going to be watching over all of that too. So if there's something that you want to talk about Cinco de Mayo, if you're celebrating too, we like to hear from you. Just come in and as I said, all you have to do is use your keyboard and type in. And as I said, also, if you're wanting to join in conversation, give us your weather forecast. I have mine for you. If you're in the vicinity of New York or somewhere in that area, don't worry about it. We will take care of the weather for you at that part. But the rest of you, if you want to join in, give us a weather forecast. It doesn't have to be a full weather forecast. It could be a summary, but we look forward to that. We'll have all of that coming up. Right now, as we promised you, we're going to go over to Brian Camp right now. And he's coming along with the latest developments in today's world of sports on Sports Update. We're waiting for him to pop in. Okay, he's back again. He must have dropped out. But we got him back here. Here is the latest developments in today's world of sports on Sports Update, coming to you direct from Charlotte, North Carolina, where the weather, well, he's going to talk about the weather himself. We're going to see how that goes for him when he pops up. We're still waiting for him to pop up there. We've got some kind of signal going, but we don't see him right away. I think he's there. I got a little black, if that means anything, if that's any hope. All right. Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Are you there, Brian? No, he's not there yet, but I see black on the screen, so I'm not sure what that really means. Anyway.
Yes.
Oh, there he is. Well, we don't have you on camera, so we don't see you on camera.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you. Absolutely. I can hear you.
Okay, let me take that.
Okay. I think he's going to.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you. I can hear. Oh, there you go. There you go. Right there. You must be using a different device.
Yeah. Yes. I'm sorry about that. It was just crazy. Just a second. It's something about me being in the car. My earphones are not working, but I'm here now. Good morning.
Good morning to you. Happy Cinco de Mayo.
Out there who's tuning in, and I hope all is well. And let me get right to the sports because I'm in a bad connection, so I want to try to give you as much information as I can. Right now, I would have to say that basketball playoffs is here. Except for last night, the game was not exciting, or it was a blowout. The Golden State Warriors beat the LA Lakers 127-100. The game was even close in the second half. Golden State pulled away, but it's that time of the year where playoff teams are doing well and the games are exciting. But hopefully tonight, I think we're scheduled for 2 games. Check your local listings to find out games and times and area. So in sports, I got to say, hip hop artist and entrepreneur Snoop Dogg has joined a business with businessman Nako Sparks, bid to buy the hockey Ottawa Senators, and the final price of the Ottawa franchise could reach anywhere around $1 billion. So Snoop Dogg, who's an entertainer, hip hop legend, has joined. Just like a lot of these celebrities and these other sports figures are buying pieces of ownership for these here sports teams, whether the 4 major teams in North America: baseball, basketball, football, and hockey, along with auto racing and other various companies that they connect themselves with. So Snoop Dogg said that he's excited about this. He knows because he's a hip hop artist, he knows a lot about sports, including hockey. As he said it earlier this week, he said, if you notice, he wore a Pittsburgh Penguins jersey when he did one of his early hit singles. So, which is true. So he knows sports. He's not doing it for the money. He's just doing it for money and for the pleasure of sports. So congratulations to him. The Philadelphia 76ers center Joe Embiid has won the NBA's MVP award for the 2022-23 season. And this is his first award. He was very emotional. If you've seen the highlights, he was very emotional, in tears, and his teammates gathered around him, hugged him, and he was so happy to win this award. Many said that he should have won this award last year and the year before, but he's finally broken through. Got some news in the media world. CNN will be home of a new weekly primetime show featuring Gayle King and Charles Barkley, Hall of Famer basketball player, former basketball player Charles Barkley and Gayle King, who if you see her early in the morning, around 6 or 7 o'clock, she's on CBS Morning News, and she's teamed up with Charles Barkley, like I said, to start this here. It was set to air on Wednesdays. The show is entitled King Charles, and is expected to begin in the fall, this coming fall, and run into 2024. So they're going to be talking about hot topics and everything else, controversial things. You know, Charles Barkley is a very outspoken person, so be prepared to tighten up your seatbelts. Anything he may say may offend, but he's given an opportunity. It's going to be on CNN, and more details as the weeks come about. This day in sports, May 5th, after sharing the polo grounds with the New York Giants for 10 years, in 1922, construction begins on Yankee Stadium. Yes, the Yankees and the Giants used to share the polo grounds. And there's a story behind that. The Giants did not want to renew their lease there, so they wanted to kick them out. Well, by them kicking them out, the Yankees went on a surge and won 27 world championships, where my Giants still only have 8 championships. And that's how that came about back in 1922. 1966, Willie Mays hit his 512th home run pass in Mel Ott's National League record. 1969, Milwaukee Bucks signed #1 draft pick star UCLA center Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. At that time, he was known as Lou Alcindor. 1978, Pete Rose becomes the 14th player to collect 3,000 hits. And in 1981, the 16th and final NBA preseason Mayor's Trophy game. Yes, back then in Mets and the Yankees, before they went interleague play, they used to play 1 game a year. It didn't count. It was a preseason, but the name of it is called a Mayor's Trophy game. The Mets won the last one 4-1. The Mets had an 8-7 edge on the Yankees with 1 tie. So they played a total of 16 times in that 16-year period of the Mayor's Trophy game. That was fun times, even though the games didn't count. But the fact is that it was 2 teams, Yankees and Mets, and they played and they got together. Now they play every year now. They play every year, at least 6 times a year. Birthdays. Willie Mays, 1930. His birthday is actually tomorrow. He's a Major League Hall of Famer. He used to play for the New York/San Francisco Giants. Was born in Westfield, Alabama, and he's going to be celebrated tomorrow. 92 years. To me, he's the greatest player of all time. Weddings. 1964, Hall of Fame catcher Roy Campanella, 41, weds longtime friend Roxy Jones. And ladies and gentlemen, that is sports on a kind of brisk day here in Charlotte, North Carolina, where the temperature is 61 degrees going up to 75.
Okay, you made it through that. Wow, you barely made it through it, but I'm glad you did. You got the sports in there. But I'm gonna hold on to you just for a minute and see if we can get through this. We were talking about CNN, the changes in CNN. Gayle King and Charles Barkley, King Charles show. I'm wondering if this is a change to help boost ratings, because CNN had rating problems for a very long time. And of course, with the exit of Don Lemon, we don't know how it's going to sway. What do you think?
Yes, the ratings hopefully ratings are going to go high. Mm-hmm. Well, with Don Lemon leaving, fired, whatever you want to call it, as you know, fired, and the other guy at that other newscast station was, as they say, was let go.
Let go. Yeah. Well, not
yeah,
go. It was
politics
a
behind that.
mutual agreement.
I think this was in the makings.
Yeah.
I think they was trying to get rid of Don Lemon for a while anyway.
Yeah.
And it's about ratings. You know, if you know, Don Lemon spent 17 years at CNN.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem Don Lemon
17
bouncing back.
17
a bounce back. I'm not worried. He's bigger and better.
Well, you know, he's going to land on his feet. He's going to work someplace else. As for the other guy, he'll probably get something, but outside of TV. I don't know that he's ever going to get using the platform that he have been using for years. I don't think that's going to fly on any place else but Fox News, and he's gone from Fox. But Don Lemon is going to land someplace else. And here's the other thing. The other guy, I'll mention his name, Tucker Carlson, right? Used to work at CNN, got fired from there. Used to work at MSNBC, got fired from there. Fox got fired from there. Go figure.
But in fairness to him, he does bring ratings.
Oh yeah,
he's a guy that brings, you know, in I don't know much about broadcasting, like you know more than me, but I do know, like Howard Stern brings in revenue.
Yeah.
The late Don Imus brings in revenue and ratings. In fact, there was one time Don Imus was bringing more revenue in.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah.
Than Howard Stern.
Yeah.
Howard Stern at the ratings. So the sponsors are the ones that come in and sponsor you. I mean, tell me if I'm wrong. And that's how you stay successful.
Yeah.
And with what's his name, Tucker Carlson.
Yeah.
He's a guy that's going to bounce back too. Yeah. I don't want to wish anybody to get fired. You know, that's just me. You know, you don't want to rejoice over somebody's failures, you know, because it can always come back and hit you.
I was getting ready to say that the whole wide world is gloating over this, and I don't take any glee in this at all, because I know what it's like to be without a job. I know what it's like to be at the receiving end.
Exactly.
People come in, buy off your stations, and you're fired. I've been there. So no, I don't take any pleasure in that at all from both parties, both Tucker Carlson and Don Lemon, you know, but I wish them both well.
Exactly.
Yeah, I wish them both well. Okay, Brian, we got through it barely, but we did get through it. We'll catch you back here next week. How about that?
Yes, sir. Everybody enjoy the weekend. Pete, whoever's out there, everybody have a nice weekend and be safe and enjoy the weather.
And Cinco de Mayo. Okay, Brian, take care of yourself. Okay, that's Brian Camp, ladies and gentlemen, with the latest developments in today's world. We got through it. With all the technical problems, we got through it. And it wasn't that many, but just enough, but we got through it. We got through it. And he's here every week at this time, bringing you the latest developments in today's world of sports on Sports Update. It's usually the 2020 feature. However, Brian had to come in a little bit earlier and do that, you know, because he's a busy man. And DJ Pete, by the way, part of the 2020 features 22 the hour with entertainment news and reciting all of those birthdays of people of notoriety. He won't be here today either. Both of these guys are busy guys. I don't even know if they have time for the poor old guy here anymore. I don't know. But listen, I do appreciate the fact that they're out there. They want to make that little extra money, and that's good. And I'm very good with that. So thank you, Brian, and thank all of you. I want to say hello to Quick the Mick Jones out there. It's Friday, Mick. It's Friday. He's watching us from Instagram right now. So I want to say hello to him. Good morning to you, and good morning to the rest of you out there. And those of you who are going to chime in conversation, give us a weather forecast in your location. Mick, you're in the South, just like Brian. Brian is in Charlotte. And I'm pretty sure where you are in Raleigh, which is like maybe about 2-hour drive from each other. I don't know. Maybe your weather's a little different. You know, if you can give me, if you have the time, but he's a busy man too. You know, give us a little summary of what your weather's like. We like to do that because we like to compare notes around here on what the weather is like. And the rest of you, as I said, if you're going to join in the conversation, please do that for us. And we would really appreciate that. And as far as the weather's concerned in New York City, those of you who are in the vicinity of New York City, don't worry about that. I am going to take care of that. As a matter of fact, I am going to take care of that right now. You know, the weather forecast, if we can find it, we have it up there. And we're gonna, let me see if I can get it up there right now. I am going to have to search for it again. Let's see. Let's see. Where are we with that? The weather. Let's see. We've got to have weather. We've got to have the weather, and we are going to have the weather. Right now, what we have in New York City, and we've had some pretty good days, and we had some bad days. Last weekend was a terrible day. And out in Raleigh, North Carolina, it's sunny in the mid-70s today. Thank you, Mickey, for that. In Raleigh, North Carolina. So we're comparing those notes. We got 56 degrees. He's going to get up to 70 degrees today. We've got 56 degrees right now. And the weather forecast looks like this today. We're not going to go past 70. We're not going to go anywhere near that today. But this is what it looks like so far. It's going to be mostly cloudy this morning, a few showers developing during the afternoon. So we're not finished with the rain, just a few sprinkles. 61 degrees will be the high for today. And winds will be light and variable. Chance of rain will be 30%. For tonight, some passing clouds. We'll have a low 49 degrees. Winds will be light and variable. But listen to this one. This is the best part of the weekend for Saturday. For Saturday, so far, it's the best part. We've got sunshine and some clouds. No rain in the forecast. And we'll have a high of 71 degrees. So we're going to get up there. Winds will be light and variable for Saturday night. A few clouds developing. We'll have a low 53 degrees. And winds will be light and variable at the same time. And as we end up our weekend for Sunday, we get ready to relax, go back to work. Sunday is going to be intervals of clouds and sunshine in the morning, with more clouds for later in the day. And we got a high of 73 degrees. So the temperatures go up and up and up. Winds will be light and variable. And repeating our present temperature here in New York City, it's 56 degrees outdoors. What's it like in your area right now? But in Charlotte, North Carolina, they're in their 60s. Mickey just told me they're now presently at 68 degrees. But, you know, that's to be expected because they're in a better place than we are here in New York. And we had a lot of wet weather. And I mentioned last week when it was terrible last weekend. And we had a lot of rain, and the rain wouldn't let up, you know, so that just kept, well, if you like rain, if you like the wet weather, of course, you're like a duck, you want to go out swimming, and maybe that's your kind of weather. That's okay too, if you like that. But for a guy like me, I just don't like that kind of weather. I mean, listen, it's always good every once in a while for the rain to fall because it's a benefit to all of us, right? It's a benefit to each and every one of us. But when I looked out the window, I said, you know, this is no time for this, you know. So, but the whole entire weekend was wet. And then when Monday came around, what do you know? You know, but it's going to be different this weekend. And I hope it's equally as nice where you are. Okay, just in case you're just joining us, name of the show is called The Coffee Hour. And, you know, something, I didn't salute you guys, right? I didn't raise my cup or, you know, just say, excuse me while I shoot up. That's great. That's great. Cinco de Mayo. Happy, happy, happy. Mickey, what are you going to do as if I didn't know for Cinco de Mayo? You're going to celebrate too, right? Everybody does that. I mean, I can imagine people at the end of the day, in the bars and the saloons, people are going to flock in there after work, and they're going to do an extra celebration because of the fact it's Cinco de Mayo. And I can imagine tequila and Corona beers all over the joint, you know. And hey, listen, it only comes around once a year. So we celebrate. Listen, I celebrate anything. Anything that's festive, at least. And I know that Cinco de Mayo is a festive time of the year. And just in case you don't know how it came around, Cinco de Mayo was a commemoration of the anniversary of Mexico's victory over the Second French Empire at the Battle of Puebla. And that went back in 1862. And so that's how it came about. You're going to want to know these things, when it happens, because I never knew that, Cinco de Mayo, and I'm always interested in, if you're going to celebrate something, how did that Cinco de Mayo come about? How did Black History Month come about? Oh, I already know about that. But other holidays you're not really aware of, and you want to research them. I like that's the fun thing about it. I like to research and things like that. So I hope that whatever you're going to do Friday night, after whatever it is, do it cautiously and do it responsibly, for Christ's sake, and stay behind off the wheel. Don't drive. If you're going to do a lot of drinking, you just, if you are in a city or someplace where you have mass transit that you could use to get home, leave the car home, go to your destination, and celebrate to your heart's content. But just leave the car home. Stay off the road. If you're going to do that. Or you could either do that or use a designated driver, someone who doesn't indulge in alcohol's consumption, right? There's a lot of ways we can protect ourselves, and this has to be one of the ways to do it. So there you go. Folk singer, songwriter Gordon Lightfoot, who was enduring folk singer. He had hits including The Wreck of Edmund Fitzgerald, Sundown, and If You Could Read My Mind. He passed away Monday at Toronto, Canada. That's where he lived, in Toronto, Canada. He died from natural causes. He was 84 years old. I remember being introduced to his music in college. And that song, that very first song that I heard from him was If You Could Read My Mind. And that just became my all-time favorite. I mean, some of the other stuff that I like from him, I really loved his music. But I was introduced to him through that music, through that particular song. And it just happens to be my favorite Gordon Lightfoot song ever. So Gordon Lightfoot, again, passed away. We're going to miss him. But it's good to know that he left us a good legacy to enjoy for over the years, for the rest of our lives. And again, he died at the age of 84 years old from natural causes. And we can't forget about all of those devastating moments and all of those devastating things that happened over the week, starting last week. I think it was last Saturday in Cleveland, Texas. Remember that? We had there were 5 dead in Texas, execution style shootings. The suspect was carrying an AR-15. I mean, what's new about it now? AR-15 is a household word now. We hear about it so much, and now it's all over the place. They shouldn't be out there. No one should be using those kind of weapons. That's a deadly weapon. Well, weapons are deadly, period. But this AR-15, that's military material. And so this particular person, again, AR-15, he's apprehended now. 5 people are dead after being shot in Texas. And it was a Texas home. Would you imagine that? A Texas home. And this person was armed with the AR-15, and it was horrific. And this person's name was Francisco, if I can pronounce his name correctly, or, if not, I'm pretty sure someone will correct me. Francisco Oropeza. And he was 38 years old. And he's, as I say, he is now in custody. And it's said that he has a $5 million bond. So he's going to cost him $5 million to get out of there. So does he have it? I don't know. I don't know his financial status, but $5 million is his bond. And the thing about it, that the neighbors, he was shooting up his gun, and the neighbors asked him to stop shooting the gun because their baby was asleep. Why was he shooting the gun just like that? And then I guess he got irritated about that, and he wound up shooting other people as well. And his wife also was arrested, and she was arrested alongside several other people as well for hindering the apprehension and prosecution of her husband. And so the people that shot, there were 5 people involved here. 4 survived, 1 dead. And Julissa Rivera was one. That was this. She had a son. She was guarding her son, and she got killed in the process of it all. Well, she didn't get killed, but she got wounded in the process of it all. Julissa Rivera, I believe these people were for survival. I think these people were survivors. Anyway, I think they were survivors. Julissa Rivera, Sonia Guzman, Diana Alvarado, and Jose Cesaro. And Daniel Lasso. Daniel Lasso was a 8 or 9 year old little boy who lost his life. And I think the mother of the boy was Jolisa Rivera. I think that was the mother of the boy. And protecting him, she got, shot in the process of it all, but the little boy didn't survive it, And so what does that tell you? People are dying every day. I mean, even for silly things like going to someone's door and knocking on the door and getting fired, or someone pulling up accidentally in someone's garage, or somebody's basketball rolls into somebody's front yard. And all of these things that I mentioned, people die because of that, So be very careful, ladies and gentlemen, where you go or who you talk to or whose door you knock on, unless, of course, you know someone personally that that's not going to harm you. But, you can't even knock on someone's door. And that I often think about this. I always think about the door-to-door Jehovah Witness. I always think about this, and I just hope it never happens. The door-to-door Jehovah Witness, they knock on the door, they like to talk to you, and some people, they do talk to them, they open up the door and they talk to them. But I'm thinking, in this day and age, is it safe for a door-to-door Jehovah Witness to knock on your door? You don't know what you're going to get behind that open door. It's like playing Let's Make a Deal. Is it door number 1, door number 2, or door number 3? And I'm not saying this to be funny, but what door? If someone, Monty Hall, if he were alive today and he gave you 3 doors and he said to you, which door would you go through to be safe? Would it be door number 1, door number 2, or door number 3? I would never want that kind of choice. Never want that kind of a choice. Anyway, so that's what happened this week. And wouldn't you know it, when they apprehended this person, when they apprehended him for that shooting, it took 8 days before they got him. They took 8 days before they apprehended him. And when they did, wouldn't you know it, shortly after they apprehended him, gunfire erupted in Atlanta, Georgia. And it was in an Atlanta medical facility, and it happened Wednesday. They apprehended the first one on Wednesday, and shortly after that, there was another killing on Wednesday. At least, I think it was 1 person wounded and 4 police. Let's see, 1 person wounded, at least 1 person wounded, and 4 as police searched for the assailant, and they got him. They got him as well. His name was Dion Patterson. They got him as well. And Dion Patterson was a former military person. He was trained to kill. He was trained to use weaponry. He was trained to do all of these things that the military have taught him. That's why he wound up before he was caught. I think it took a couple of hours before they got him, though. But they had to be very careful to apprehend him because he was well trained in military weaponry. And so they finally got him, Dion Patterson. They got him 24 years old. And the story is that he was at a medical facility. I don't know. The buzz was going around that it was like he was being treated for mental health or something, or whatever it is, and medication, whatever he was supposed to be getting, he didn't get it, or he didn't get the right kind, or whatever it was. It irritated him, and then he shot all of these people up. All of these people died just because he was angry about something that these other people had nothing to do with. And so, again, you don't have to be, you could be innocent, and it doesn't exempt you from anything. You could be innocent, and it doesn't exempt you. And every time, and it's a shame, and it's hurtful when every time you walk out your door, you have to look around. It's annoying to have to look over your back all the time, or look over your shoulder all the time. And people are doing that these days. It's just how things are happening. And so we just have to be very careful. And, with these guns that are out here, and the politicians, particularly, and I'm going to call them right out. And even though I'd say, both parties, Democrats and Republicans, they're totally off the wall anyway, and that's probably one of the reasons why I don't indulge in any or behold to any particular party. I was originally a Democrat, and because my whole family was a Democrat. My old man was a Democrat. My mom was a Democrat. Cousins, uncles, and we were all Democrats. We were born in a Democratic household. But those back in the day when the Democrats and Republicans, there were two great parties, both of them, two great parties. And even though the Democrats and the Republicans were at odds all the time, they weren't always fighting or anything like that. Sometimes the Democratic Party would get into the White House. Sometimes the Republican Party would get into the White House. At the end of the day, whoever lost, whoever won, at the end of the day, both parties were on one accord. And that one accord was America. America. Today, it's not about that. It's about party over whatever, right? Everything is party first and everything is last, all right? And it would seem to me that both parties would get together in this day and age to come to a conclusion on how they can prevent all of these. Now, one party is saying, something, we're not trying to get your guns. We don't want to take your guns. It's the Second Amendment. We want to honor the Second Amendment. Everyone has the rights to bear arms. But just because you have to read that very well and understand that everyone has the right to bear arms, but we still have to screen people because we don't know. A gun gets into the wrong hand. It's been proven every day, particularly with these AR-15s. It's been proven every day that these weapons of destruction are in the wrong hands, to the wrong people. How do they get them? I don't know. I don't have an answer for that. But I do know it's like, if it's that simple, it's like going into a candy store and going up to the candy counter, just like we used to do in the 50s, that little glass candy counter. Those of you who are my age, you know that. When they had penny candy, you go into the store and you tell the guy, give me one of those, give me one of those, and one of those. And it's the same thing with weaponry. It seems to me, that's what it seems to me. People are walking in there and say, I'll take that. Give me a gang of those bullets. I'll take this, I'll take that. Give me that gun right there. Oh, you only have one AR-15 left. I'll take it. Don't give it to me. I'll take it right there. I'll take that right out. I'll take it with me. Do you have to have a training? Some of these people buy guns and they're not even trained to use these guns. They're not even trained. You have to be trained to use a AR-15. You have to be trained. You have to be military style trained. And a lot of people just go in there, and it just seems to me that's what it is. Guns are like buying candy in the store. Just walk in, walk out, and it's so many things happen. You remember that guy, that kid, I think at the time he was 17 years old, Kyle Rittenhouse. Remember him? These guys, the Republicans are really praising this guy. This guy is a superstar. He's a hero to these people. He killed people. He killed someone. And, but see, this kid, he's got to be at least 21 now, right? Somewhere in there. I don't know. Somewhere in there. I don't know. But he's got his fame going on now. But later on, they're gonna people, and when he's long forgotten about it, he's gonna be forgotten about pretty soon. And I mean, he's still out there crying, says, "Oh, I can't go out. I can't do this. I can't do that. I can't walk my dog. I can't do. People are hounding me." I wonder why. Why do people hound you that way? I don't know. Kyle Rittenhouse, why? So I always say to the Republican Party, to the Democratic Party, get together and do what they, there's a thing called, when they get together, right? There's a thing called, can't think of the word right now, but they have to get together. They have to get together and figure this out. And the only way they're going to do that is they're going to have to release the demon that's plaguing them. I don't have to spell it out for you, do? Release the demon that's plaguing them. Stop drinking the Kool-Aid, the orange flavored one. Stop doing that. Wake up, snap out of it. We've got a country to run. We have the country and everyone lives here. And stop trying to think that you're going to eliminate a certain amount of people or a community of people that you don't like. It's not going to happen. No one is going anywhere. No one is going anywhere. So get used to it. If you're just joining us, the name of the show is called The Coffee Hour. My name is Frank Allan, and we are here with you for the balance of the show, for the balance of the hour. We're going to be here to the top of the hour. And those of you who are with us, stay with us. Don't go anywhere. We want you to stick around. There's so much to do. Okay, at this particular point, DJ Pete is normally here for the 2020 feature, 22 the hour. His part of the 2020 feature, DJ Pete, money making DJ Pete, is not here today. But he was kind enough to leave his information to us, and so we could relay it to you. And this is the part of the show where we recite all of those birthdays of people of notoriety who are celebrating birthdays this week, and give you all the news of entertainment. Love entertainment. And let's start it off right now. April 30th, which just have come and gone already. Willie Nelson celebrated a birthday. Willie Nelson, one of the big country singers back in the old days, all right? And Willie, he just celebrated his birthday. And let's see, we just had a little chime for him. He was born on that day. What I have here, the 29th. I have the 29th. PJ gave me the 30th. I'm not sure, but nevertheless, he's 90 years old, turned 90 years old, and he's still rocking with his country. He's still doing that. So Willie Nelson, happy birthday to you. He's still alive and living legend. Still rolling along, doing his thing. Okay, Johnny Horton. I remember Johnny Horton. Johnny Horton, there's one song that Johnny Horton did that I once played on the radio, but I stopped playing. It was called Battle of the Republic. It just reminded me so much of Confederate marches. So I just discontinued the use of playing that. But he was a country singer. Other than that, I love this music, country singer. He was born also on the 30th. He was born in 1925. There you go, a nice chime for him. And he was an American singer. He was a songwriter too, Johnny Horton. The Battle of the Republic, remember that. Remember that. I just had, when I used to grow up listening to his music, I heard that song. I used to like it because I didn't listen to the lyrics. I wasn't into lyrics. I was a little boy. I just loved the rhythm of the music. But, we have to all listen to and other than the rhythm of the music, we have to listen to lyrics because some of the lyrics may offend you and they may not be right. And the Battle of the Republic song, I just discontinued the use of playing that song. Here's someone else that I played on the radio many times before, Sonny James. He was born May 1st. May 1st, that's coming on then. May 1st in 1929, Sonny James. One of his big hits was Young Love, which is one of the great songs that I played. I played it many times on the air. He passed away February 22nd, 2016. He was 87 years old. And these people that I'm talking about, people who are older, who you may not have been around when they made those hit records. But we want to say happy birthday in heaven to Sonny James. Wayne Hancock. There's a little chime for Wayne Hancock. Who is Wayne Hancock? Wayne Hancock, better known as Wayne the Train Hancock. Okay, and he's an American singer, songwriter, and he's known for his song, The King of the Juke. The King of the Juke Joint Swing. That's what he's known. I don't think that was a song, but that's what he was known for, swing juke, for the swinging juke joint. rockabilly, that kind of music. So Wayne the Train Hancock, happy birthday. And we move right along. James Brown, the godfather of soul. His birthday had come and gone. His birthday was May 3rd, James Brown. James Brown was the godfather of soul. I remember James Brown back in the early 50s when he was with a group called the Famous Flames, and they had this tune called Please, Please, Please. And I used to love that song. And followed him all the way from the time I was a little boy all the way up to my college years until, and beyond until he passed away. But he made a lot of great hit records all over the place, had his own band, he had his own groove going on. James Brown, the godfather of soul. Frankie Valli, you know who Frankie Valli is? Frankie Valli had a street named after him just recently, Frankie Valli Way. Frankie Valli was the lead singer of the Four Seasons. He just celebrated his birthday the same day as James Brown. The only difference is that he was like a year behind James Brown in age. But Frankie Valli, who's, by the way, still alive and living, from the Four Seasons, is still around with us. Singer, actor, they say actor here. Honestly, I never really seen him doing any acting, at least not on TV. Maybe he did something on the stage. But I do know that that musical Jersey Boy was a takeoff for the Four Seasons. So happy birthday, Frankie Valli, and all of his Sherry Baby and Swearing to God and all of that. Happy birthday to him. Dick Dale, I was born on this day. Dick Dale, here's a chime for Dick Dale. Dick Dale was born May 4th. That was yesterday. Well, he wasn't born yesterday, but he was born May 4th in 1937. And Dick Dale was professionally known as Dick Dale, of course, and he was an American rock guitarist. He was a pioneer of surf music, and just like the Beach Boys. And he's no longer with us, of course. Dick Dale died March 16th in 2019. He was 81 years old. So there you go. A nice happy birthday to Dick Dale. And we move right along. Now, here's someone I enjoy so much. I still enjoy his music today, Bob Seger. Bob Seger was born May 6th, 1945. I really enjoyed his music, Bob Seger, and he's still around with us. He's a songwriter, singer, songwriter, and a great musician too. And he did an album called Ramblin' Gamblin' Man. Ramblin' Gamblin' Man. And there's so many great songs on that album. And so we say happy birthday to Bob Seger. I still have some of his old albums too. You know, something back in the day when before they came to the CD, you know, we were all collecting albums, those wax, you know, that's we used to play. And us as radio disc jockeys used to play those things. We used to play strictly from wax, you know, vinyl. We call them wax, but they were vinyl records, and we used to play from them, the albums in the 45 RPMs. And disc jockeys, long before I was living, played 78 RPMs. I don't know if you remember. I remember the 78s, but I wasn't working I was a kid then, back then. But I remember the 78s. The 78s were the worst records you could buy. They were breakable. The slight movement, and if you drop them on the floor, they were scattered all over the place. You know, I remember the last 78 album that there was an album, but a 78 single that I received. My mom, before she passed away, rest her, managed to get 2 copies of Frank Sinatra music. And both were, at that time, he was on the Columbia label. And I still have those records in possession. I'm very, very careful with them. They're classics. And I remember what I did one time when I received it, I managed to record them. record them. And at that time, when I was recording them, I was recording them on what was I recording them on? Oh, I was recording them on cassettes. Remember, and you're going to ask me, what are cassettes? And I still have them on cassettes. So now what I have to do, I have to transfer them for cassettes and make them digital now. We're in a digital age, so they don't use cassettes anymore. They don't use any of those things that you used to enjoy. And if you're driving in your car, you don't use the compact disc anymore. Not the compact disc, but those cartridges, 8-tracks, right? Which I thought, ladies and gentlemen, 8-tracks, those of you who remember the 8-tracks, remember you could stick the cartridge into the slot and you play music. The worst thing about those 8-tracks, it was the worst thing that were ever engineered and brought to the market. You know why? Because those cartridges used to always, you go put them in your machine, and anyone who owned the 8-track machine could testify to this, that most of your music got stuck in there, got jammed, and the tape would unravel and it would mess up your machine. And that was common for 8-tracks. So I thought that was the worst thing. And you know why? You know why that happened? It was engineered properly. It was improperly engineered. Those of you who are technical may understand what I'm talking about when I say this, is that those cartridges contain a rubber puck inside. So when you engage the cartridge inside the machine, the rubber puck could depress on the capstan. While it's rolling, the capstan turns, and that would allow the tape to move on. When they should have put the puck inside the machine as opposed to the cartridge. Now in radio, they don't use them anymore. We used to use what they call cart machines. That's how we played our commercials and all of those other things that we used to do. The puck, the rubber puck was in the machine, and the cartridge and it wasn't in the cartridge, it was in the machine. And so when you engage the cartridge into the machine and engage it, the capstan would press on to the rubber puck and you had the tape between the capstan and the rubber puck, and the capstan turns, and when you play it, it just releases. Even those jam occasionally, but then that had to do with bad tape. Anyway, that was it. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, and I think that's it for this part of the 2020 feature. I want to thank DJ Pete for bringing that information to us. By the way, you can hear DJ Pete on the radio. He has his own show, and you can hear him on www.radio-airwave.co.uk, and that's Thursdays between 7 p.m. and 9 p.m. You could also catch him on his hometown station on WMPG radio out in Portland, Maine. Or if you don't get the radio station, there's no excuse. They have a website. You can go there. You can listen to them from there, www.wmpg.org. And that's on every other Tuesday between 8:30 p.m. and 10 p.m., all times Eastern time and zone and US and Canada. So there you have it. Birthdays today. Oh, I got a chock full of them. Well, not so many. But anyway, birthday today, R&B singer Chris Brown. 34 years old today. Pop singer Adele is 35 years old today. The late Tammy Wynette would have been 81 today. She was a country singer. The late Johnny Taylor, disco lady, remember him? R&B singer. He would have been 89 years old today. Actor Will Hutchison. Actor Will Hutchison goes way back to the late 50s, early 60s. He had that show called Sugarfoot. It was a Western serial, Sugarfoot. He's 93 years old today. He's still around. And finally, the late Tyrone Powell, actor Tyrone Powell, would have been 109 years old today. And that's it for all of us as far as the birthdays are concerned. If you'd like to get in touch with me personally, you can do that. You can do it by email, or you can call me, one or the other. Email address is frankallanprod@aol.com. Spell Allan, A-L-L-A-N. Please do that for me. Why? Because if you spell it E-N, you won't get anywhere. A-L-L-A-N, prod is P-R-O-D, that's short for production. You can do that. That's Frank Allen Prod at AOL.com. That's Frank Allen Prod at AOL.com. Or you can call me at 641-715-3900, extension 467-134. That's 641-715-3900, extension 467-134. You can call 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. You can leave a message. If you like to just even to say hello, we read those, we listen to the phone calls, and we would really appreciate it. And if you want to know more about this show, and of course, you may have ideas about the show, we're all ears, we'll listen to you, relay that to us, and that would be great. Okay, so let me give you that number again. First of all, the email address, frankallenprod at AOL.com. That's frankallenprod at AOL.com. Or you can call me at 641-715-3900, extension 467-134. That's 641-715-3900, extension 467-134. Okay, now those movies that we told you about, we have those movies. We have a lot of movies for you. And of course, what I do each week, as you already know, is that I take the opportunity and the liberty to gather all of these movies, my pick of the week for your weekend, which is now coming up. And what are you going to do for the weekend? That's totally up to you. But if you want to include catching up on movies that you haven't seen in a long time, well, I want to add some to your bucket list of movies what to watch. So let's get started with that right away. Let's go back to 1939. Remember The Wizard of Oz with Judy Garland? Well, that's coming on. That's coming on Friday. You catch that Friday. Some places are already into Saturday. So, but that doesn't mean you miss anything. Everything I'm talking about is Eastern. So Friday, and here where we are, that would be tonight at 6 p.m. Eastern, The Wizard of Oz with Judy Garland. That's coming up too. Here's another classic that goes back to 1945 with Joan Crawford. Actress Joan Crawford, Mildred Pierce, one of the classics. And that's on Friday as well. And you can catch that at 10 p.m. Eastern on Turner Classic Movies. Gentlemen prefer blondes. Sometimes I like women with black hair, red hair, green hair, blue hair. Everybody's wearing different color these days. Anyway, Gentlemen Prefer Blondes, that goes back to 1953. And that stars Marilyn Monroe and Jane Russell. The two of them together make what a dandy double. That's on Turner Classic Movies, and that's for Saturday. That's Friday night, Saturday morning at 2:15 a.m. Eastern. So if you want to stay up that late, that's fine. It's right there for you. But if you don't wish to watch it in real time, you can always DVR it and watch it at your very own convenience. See, that's the beautiful thing about it. You could always DVR these things and watch them later. Gentlemen Prefer Blondes, Marilyn Monroe, Jane Russell. That's Turner Classic Movies, Saturday at 2:15 a.m. Eastern. Don't forget to check it out. Have and Have Not. I was watching a Humphrey Bogart movie last night. I caught the tail end of it, Key Largo. I didn't even know it was on. All right. But here's something that you do with Humphrey Bogart and Lauren Bacall. 1944, Have and Have Not. And that's on Saturday. That's Saturday morning too. And of course, that's at 4:15 a.m. Eastern, Have and Have Not. Again, if you're not up, DVR it and watch it later. A great movie. And finally, Stage Door with Katharine Hepburn from 1937. Katharine Hepburn and Ginger Rogers. Ginger Rogers, you know, she was part of the dancing duo with Fred Astaire. That's the same Ginger Roger. And that's, of course, on Turner Classic Movies. You can catch that Sunday morning at 6 a.m. Again, a lot of you are churchgoers. You wake up, maybe you wake up that early, but you won't have time to watch it. DVR it, watch it when you come back after your dinner, your fine meal, and then you could watch it in the evening or whenever you choose. Anyway, that's called Stage Door with Katharine Hepburn and Ginger Rogers. That's on Turner Classic Movies. That's Sunday at 6 a.m. Eastern. I hope that you like these movies. They're very good movies to watch. And by the way, you can go to Turner Classic Movies and check out other movies as you go through the program guide. And you might find something there that I didn't mention, but I didn't mention it because these are my picks. So whatever it is, I hope you do enjoy it. And speaking of enjoying, I'm going to get out of here because now my weekend is officially underway. I'm going to get out of here, but I will be back here Thursday evening at 8 p.m. Eastern. And we'll be here with Brian Kemp with Sports Update, the latest developments in today's world of sports. The name of that show is called Talk Back Live. I hope you will be here. Other than that, I'll be back here next Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern for more of the coffee hour with Brian Kemp with sports. Hopefully DJ Pete will be here when he comes back from exile with, of course, news entertainment. In the meantime, ladies and gentlemen, have yourself a marvelous day, a marvelous week, and we'll catch you back here soon. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
You've been watching The Coffee Hour with your host Frank Allen. The producer has been Al Dale. Technical assistant Dave Taylor. Research by Sandy Pierce. And I'm your announcer Donna Stenke. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time on The Coffee Hour.